Hola clase! This is the first day lesson of Spanish 1A, the first semester of beginning Spanish. And the story today is The Guy Who Plays the Guitar. It's about a guy who goes around playing the guitar at girls' houses, giving them flowers and getting rejected. Troy, toca la guitarra. Troy, toca la guitarra mucho. Troy va a la casa de Jill. Troy toca la guitarra románticamente y le da una flor a Jill. Jill grita, no, y tira la flor. Troy no está contento. At the end of today's lesson, you're going to be able to understand exactly what I just said. In fact, you're going to be able to read it, write it, and say it, all without the help of a dictionary. The materials you need for my course: my Spanish 1A workbook, which is available at the link in the description box below. It has all of the vocab, grammar, reading, and writing exercises that we're going to be doing this semester. If you don't have the workbook yet, just take notes on your own piece of paper. All right, so the objectives today, I'm going to teach you a new set of vocab. It's 4 phrases in Spanish that we're then going to use to learn the story about Troy. Then we're going to practice asking and answering questions in Spanish. You're going to have a reading to translate and then check with me to see how well you understood it. The grammar lesson today is on negating verbs, how to say something doesn't happen or isn't true. And then el quiz, that's on the target vocab to see how well you mastered the learning for this lesson. So grab your workbook and let's get started. All right, so we are in the workbook, Jalen Waltman's Complete Spanish Course 1A. First page, I have course introduction and objectives, your goals by the end of this semester. Let's start with this Spanish pre-assessment. It's on page 2. The purpose of this pre-assessment is to document how much Spanish you already know. So what you're going to do, pause this video and write down a list of all the Spanish words you know. If you don't have the workbook yet, then just do this on a blank sheet of paper. It's important that you do this. Why? Because it's a record of how much Spanish you knew before you started the course. We're going to be writing a few essays like this throughout the course, and so you're going to be able to track your progress. It's also something you can show to your institution if you're trying to get credit for this course. You can show that your progress in the course. Go ahead and pause the video now and go. Okay, we're back. You should have either a blank sheet of paper with all the Spanish words you know, uno, dos, tres, casa, amigo, whatever you were able to think of that you know how to say in Spanish. And also don't forget to count how many words you wrote and put that total at the bottom of the page or the top if you wrote on your own paper. It doesn't really matter. First day, new vocab. The first phrase is toca la guitarra. Toca la guitarra. It means plays the guitar. Va a la casa. Va a la casa is he or she goes to the house. So write that one down. Le da una flor. Le da una flor. Le da una flor gives this le. Okay, gives is actually the da word. Le refers to him or her. Gives him or her a flower. Actually, that le could also refer to formal you, but we'll get to that later. We'll be talking about that later. Está contento, and I have está contento or slash contenta. Contento is if you're describing someone who's masculine or male who's happy, contento. And contenta, if the person that's happy is feminine, female, etc. Okay, so let's just translate this, is happy. Okay, once you have all those written down, we're ready to move on to the next part. Now this is where I'm going to actually try to teach you this vocab in an interactive way. Now, I'm saying here to write and draw. I know realistically, some of you guys are just going to watch me draw. The whole purpose of drawing is to get you in your right brain. What I want you to do is grab a piece of paper or something to cover up these lists of words. List of Spanish words with a list of English words, that's left brain. That would be you trying to memorize the language, which you can't. Language is acquired, and it's acquired in the right brain. We know that from brain research. So the act of talking about this vocab and drawing these pictures with me will get you in your right brain. It will also get you started thinking about what these words just mean, rather than trying to associate them directly with English, okay? So that's why I'm asking you to draw. All right, so let's start off with toca la guitarra, and we're gonna put that right down here. Now, these are not gonna be complicated drawings. I am an advanced stick figure artist, ha 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 ha. You'll see. You do not have to draw amazing stick figures, as long as you have a picture here, because later we're gonna come back and put the phrase underneath, all right? So just draw, something that kind of looks like this. All right, so to draw a stick figure playing a guitar, we're gonna start off drawing the guitar, which you need, I usually do like 2 circles like that. Leave that one open so you can do the neck of the guitar. And then the hole is right there, and then some strings going up. Okay, then you can put the stick figure behind it. So just do his face. And then we're gonna have one arm like that, and the other one like that. And I'm gonna give you some legs just because make the whole picture. This one is going to represent toca la guitarra. Okay, this picture is for toca la guitarra. Now what we need is va a la casa. Va a la casa, it means goes to the house. So let's have, over here we'll have a house. Your stick figure. Now, to make him look like he's going over there, you want his mouth to be sideways, like that. And then here's his body, and his legs are walking that way. Va a la casa. I'm gonna put some landscape back there, but you don't have to. All right, so va a la casa. Toca la guitarra, va a la casa. Now we need le da una flor. Le da una flor. We're gonna do 2 stick figure hands. Here's the first hand with a flower. Okay, do a little leaf on it if you want to. Giving, le da, and here's the other stick figure hand, reaching out for it, okay? All right, so le da una flor. This is gonna be this picture. The last one is está contento, está contento. If you want a stick figure to look really happy, first of all, here's his face. His eyes are gonna be closed. And then you want to do an open mouth smile because they're just like so happy. All right, so then here's the little body. And then let's do these happy arms curled in like that. Oh my goodness, it's so much happiness right here. And then the sun is shining. The clouds are in the sky. Not too many though. Here's the landscape, if you want to put that in there. And then flowers are growing and blooming in his little stick figure world. Está contento. So I got está contento, va a la casa, toca la guitarra, le da una flor. Let's practice this vocab. Muy importante. You have to have this part covered up. This part cannot be showing. If you did not draw these pictures with me, then point at the screen. You can point at the screen anyway if you want to do it that way. I'm going to say one of these phrases, and you point at the one that you think I am saying. Toca la guitarra. You should be pointing at this one. I'm going to say another one. You point at the one you think I'm saying. Está contento. Está contento. You should be pointing at this one. Okay, muy bien. Le da una flor. Le da una flor. You should be pointing at that one. Va a la casa. Va a la casa. You should be pointing at this one. Try to beat my little green arrow. I'm going to speed up a little. I'm going to start out a little bit slow, but I'll speed up over time and try to stay ahead of my little arrow. Va a la casa. You should be pointing at that one. Le da una flor. This one. Está contento. here. Toca la guitarra. Le da una flor. Let's try to stay ahead of me. Va a la casa. Está contento. Le da una flor. Va a la casa. Toca la guitarra. Le da una flor. Está contento. Va a la casa. Toca la guitarra. Va a la casa. Le da una flor. Está contento. Le da una flor. Está contento. Va a la casa. Toca la guitarra. Está contento. Va a la casa. Le da una flor. All right, muy bien. Okay, let's go in and write these phrases. You're still not looking at this. We're just looking at these pictures. This one is va a la casa. This one is está contento. Está has an accent mark on that A. Without the accent mark, that's actually a different word. It means this. Esta means this. Okay, here we have toca la guitarra. When you have two R's together like that, you're supposed to really roll it. If you're having a hard time rolling your R's, the way I usually teach it in class is to say, try saying a quick RD. It's sort of like you're saying an RD kind of sound. So practice and play with that and see if you can't get your tongue used to rolling. I'm not a native Spanish speaker, and I have to really focus on rolling R's, especially the initial R in a word is sometimes difficult for me. You'll hear me doing that probably. But here I have two, so you want to really roll it a little bit longer than just one R. Toca la guitarra. You really let that RD vibrate there. And then this one is le da una flor. El muchacho que toca la guitarra. Hay un muchacho. El muchacho se llama Troy. Troy toca la guitarra. Troy toca la guitarra románticamente. Troy va a la casa de Jill. Troy toca la guitarra románticamente. Troy le da una flor a Jill. Jill grita no y tira la flor. Troy no está contento. Troy agarra la flor y va a su casa. En su casa, Troy tiene una idea. Ding. Troy toca la guitarra como Metallica. Troy va a la casa de Brenda. Troy toca la guitarra como Metallica. Troy le da Kermit a Brenda. Brenda grita, sí, Troy, sí. Troy está contento. Fin. Let's write the story that I just told you. El cuento de, it means the story of. This is the story of the guy who plays the guitar. So I need to change my de into del. This is what that means. De, el, of the, in Spanish is a contraction. Spanish speakers do not ever write it, de, el. they always combine that into del, okay? So el cuento del is of the. So you know the restaurant Del Taco? That means of the taco. Yeah, I don't know why. Muchacho, the guy or the boy. Que, that word means that in this sentence. Toca la guitarra. El cuento del muchacho que toca la guitarra. All right, this story starts off with, there's a guy. In Spanish, there's a is all one word. It's I. The H is silent. You're not saying, hey. Don't let me hear you through this video saying, hey, un muchacho. No. I, the H is silent. I, un muchacho. His name is, or he calls himself, is really what we're literally going to be saying. Se llama. What is that? Something on my finger. Se llama Troy. Se llama. All right, it doesn't mean literally his name is. Llama does not mean name, it means call. He or she calls in this case. The se is a reflexive pronoun. It's making it say calls himself Troy. There is such a thing as just saying my name is word for word in Spanish. That would be mi nombre es. But we need to learn this one because this one is probably a little more common for Spanish speakers to say. They normally say it this way. Troy goes to the house of Jill and plays the guitar. Okay, so Troy goes, do you remember it? It starts with a V. What is it? Va a la, what's house? Casa de Jill. E, that means and. It's the letter Y, pronounced E. Toca la guitarra. All right, on this one. What's going on here? Do you know how to say it? Troy gives her, it's two words. The her is actually first. It's le and then da. Okay, so Troy le da. How do you say a flower? Una flor. Jill yells no and throws the flower. Yells is grita. No. Y tira la flor. She goes on a tirade and tira la flor. Troy no está contento in this picture. Está has the accent mark on it. Don't forget to put that on there, please. No está contento. This isn't a target word for this story yet, but I did say that he grabs the flower and leaves or goes home. So we'll just throw it in there. Grabs it, agarra la flor y se va. Se va, he goes himself. I made it reflexive. That's sort of like saying he leaves. He takes off. Se va. Agarra. I didn't need to say he, and I don't have to say Troy. In Spanish, the subject of sentences can be understood. You get really used to this once you start learning Spanish, and it's no problem. Spanish speakers are good at they'll give you the context before they start leaving off the subjects, but you can leave off subjects in Spanish. It's kind of nice. All right, so agarra la flor y se va. Down here, Troy has an idea. Troy has una idea. Tiene, we'll get to that verb later, means has, and we'll talk about how you can remember it. Right now, don't worry about it. Just put it there, kind of like agarra. I'll have words in there sometimes, but those aren't the target words necessarily for this story. A lot of my students a lot of times do pick up the extra words. If you do, good, that's awesome. And if you don't worry about it. He plays the guitar like Metallica. Oops. Toca, that's supposed to be a C. La guitarra como Metallica. Okay, toca la guitarra como Metallica. That's his idea. Okay, and here he's going to a different girl's house. Just change it completely up. He didn't test out his Metallica idea on Jill, but you know, let's face it, she's not worth it. Troy va a la casa de Brenda. Move some stuff so I can get this lower line. All right, so here we go. Here he's playing the guitar like Metallica. How do you say plays the guitar? Toca la guitarra como Metallica. Here is Troy gives her Kermit instead of a flower. How do you say gives her? Le da Kermit. Brenda yells, yes, yes. Okay, so Brenda grita. She yells, sí. I didn't mention this up here when I did the no, but anytime you have an exclamation point, you also need an upside down one before the exclamation. This can actually happen in the middle of a sentence sometimes. You'll see that later on. Well, here it is kind of in the middle of a sentence, I guess, but anytime you have the exclamation point, you need an upside down one first. Why? It's just a stylistic feature of Spanish. And then over here, Troy is happy. How do you say it? Troy está. And what does está need? It needs this accent mark, please. Está contento. All right, the preguntas. It does not mean pregnant. It means questions. Questions. Preguntas. Pray tell. Pray tell, I have some preguntas. ¿Cómo se llama el muchacho? ¿Cómo se llama el muchacho? How does he call himself, the guy? Now, if you're one of those like really noticey people who really notice everything, and you notice that we just wrote como Metallica on this page. Where is it? Como Metallica. And here it meant like. And now you're like, well, now she's telling me it means how. All the question words, I believe all of them, can also be used as conjunctions. And so in English, when it's a conjunction, we're going to translate it a different way. But como is also a question word how, okay? How does he call himself the guy? In other words, what's this guy's name? Se llama Troy. He calls himself Troy. ¿Dónde está el muchacho? ¿Dónde está? Where is the guy? Where is this guy? When the story starts out, we'll just say Troy's at his house. He's at his house practicing his guitar. So Troy está, accent mark on the A, en su casa. Está en su casa. Su here means his. It can mean his or her. It could also mean your for formal you. ¿A dónde va el muchacho? ¿A dónde va? To where? See dónde? And here's dónde again. ¿A dónde? To where? ¿A dónde va? Where does he go? Well, okay. Va, I'm going to leave the subject off because you can. A la casa. How do you say of this girl, of Jill? De Jill. In Spanish, there is no such thing as Jill's casa. There's no such thing as apostrophe S. That's an English thing, okay? You cannot do that. Jill's casa. No. You need de. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué va? Why does he go? ¿Por qué? Now, ¿por qué means why and because. Here it means why. Here it means because. Do you see some differences? A couple of differences? Here, I combined por and que into one word, and I got rid of the accent mark. ¿Por qué Jill es bonita? Bonita means pretty or beautiful. He's trying to impress her with his guitar playing and his flower. ¿Qué tiene el muchacho? ¿Qué tiene? What does he have? What does he have? He has two things. Tiene, he has una guitarra y una flor. ¿Qué le dice el muchacho? What does he say to her? ¿Qué le dice? Dice says. What does he say to her? He doesn't say anything. So no le dice nada. No le dice nada. You might be looking at that going, wait, is that a double negative? It is. Doesn't say nothing. That's how they say it in Spanish. Double negatives are actually the correct way to say. It's the correct way to say that. ¿Quién? To whom? What does he say? And to whom? Well, he's still talking to Jill, so Jill. He doesn't say anything. He communicates with music. ¿Qué quiere el muchacho? ¿Qué quiere el muchacho? What does he want? What wants this boy? Quiere means wants. All right, so what does he want? Quiere amor. Do you know the word amor? Amor, it means love. It's related to the English word amorous through Latin. English is not a Latin-based language, but English has had a lot of influence from Latin. Spanish is not just Latin-based. Some linguists consider Spanish to be so close to Latin that it basically is Latin. It's a street form of Latin that was spoken by the Roman soldiers when they conquered the Iberian Peninsula. The Gothic tribes and the people that were there picked up Latin from soldiers, and Spanish is considered to be a dialect of Latin, so close to Latin in grammar, syntax, etc., that most linguists say it's not even really a separate language. So basically Spanish is Latin, according to some. All right. ¿Qué ve el muchacho? What does he see? What does he see? Ve, maybe you can remember because it's kind of like our word view. Now, don't get it confused with va, goes. Okay? Va, voom, you go. But ve is more like view. Okay? We're going to work on this verb more and get these two separated in your mind. Ve a una muchacha. He sees a girl. Ve a una muchacha. ¿Está el muchacho contento al final? Is the guy happy at the end? Well, I would say yes. Sí. Está contento. ¿Por qué? Why? Okay, because, all one word. ¿Por qué? Brenda yells yes. Now that word yells was not a target word for this story, but do you remember it without looking back? Grita. Sí. Sí, by the way, has an accent mark on the I. If you don't have the accent mark there, that's also a different word. It means if. So you need the accent mark to make it mean sí in written Spanish. And in spoken Spanish, you know in context what it means. ¿Quién es tu personaje favorito en el cuento? ¿Quién es tu personaje favorito en el cuento? Who is your favorite character? Personaje is a character in el cuento. I don't know what I sentence here. Mi personaje favorito es. I'm going to say mi personaje favorito es Kermit. The gift the girls like. Lee y traduce. Lee, it means read. It's related to the word lexicon, and that root has to do with words. Okay, so y traduce and translate. Read the story and write the English translation under the Spanish line by line. Now, you might say to me, ooh, this is going to be some work. Now, I'm going to do some things to make it a little bit simpler for you. El muchacho que toca la guitarra, you don't have to translate that. That's the title, the guy who plays the guitar. When you get to his name, you can just abbreviate his name and anybody else's name with the first letter. You don't have to keep writing Troy, Troy, Troy. Jill can just be J. This version of the story has 3 girls. Okay, so the third girl is Amanda. Here she is. And down here, Metallica can just be M. Kermit can be K, and Brenda can be B. All right, so you don't have to keep writing out all these names. Names are names. And you don't translate names. I mean, you could, but some of these names don't have translations in Spanish. All right, let me get you started. Un muchacho. This is literally what you're going to do. And you can write it scribbly as long as you know what it says, as long as you know what you wrote. There's a guy. Like that. The guy's name is Troy. Okay, you're going to write this out. So go ahead and pause the video, write out your translation, and then unpause the video, and we will check it and see how you did. Okay, we're back. Let's see how you did. The guy's name is Troy. Troy toca la guitarra mucho. Troy plays the guitar. Did you get this word? Much, or a lot. And by the way, if you left anything blank, go ahead and write it in now. If you messed up one, just correct what you wrote as we were going over it. Troy toca la guitarra románticamente. Troy plays the guitar romantically. Troy está contento. What does it mean? Troy is happy. Troy va a la casa de Jill y toca la guitarra románticamente. What is this va a la casa? It goes to the house of Jill and plays the guitar romantically. Troy le da una flor a Jill. Troy gives a flower to Jill. Now, if you went in here and you wrote every word for word, her, gives, that's fine too. All right, or if you put gives her, whatever, however you wrote it, as long as you got the gist of what it means, that's what I'm looking for. Jill no está contenta. Jill is not happy. Jill grita no y tira la flor. Jill grita, what is grita? Yells no and throws the flower. Troy no está contento. Troy isn't happy. Troy agarra, did you remember and get that one? It means grabs. Troy grabs the flower. Troy va a la casa de Amanda y toca la guitarra románticamente. Goes to Amanda's house, or house of Amanda, and plays the guitar romantically. Troy le da una flor a Amanda. Troy gives a flower to Amanda. Amanda no está contenta. She's not happy. Amanda grita no y tira la flor. She yells no and throws the flower. Troy no está contento. Troy is not happy. Troy agarra la flor. He grabs that flower. Again, he gets it. Troy tiene una idea. Did you get tiene? It means has. Troy no toca la guitarra románticamente. He does not play the guitar romantically. This is our grammar lesson today, doing this. He does not play it romantically. If you got that, then you're ahead of the game. Troy toca la guitarra como Metallica. He plays the guitar like Metallica. Troy va a la casa de Brenda, goes to Brenda's house, and toca la guitarra como Metallica, and plays the guitar like Metallica. Troy le da Kermit a Brenda. He gives Kermit to Brenda. Brenda grita, sí, Troy, sí. Brenda yells, yes, Troy, yes. Troy está muy contento. Troy is very, did you get this word? Very happy. The end. La gramática. Yes. Let me switch to a blue pen. Negating verbs in Spanish. In Spanish, to negate a verb to say something didn't happen or isn't true, you must say or write no before the verb. In Spanish, the no has to go before the verb. Write out the correct way to say each phrase below. Troy is not would be no está. Troy no está contento. Okay, no goes before the verb. Troy does not go. Okay, instead of Troy va, what will I say? Troy no va. He does not go. Jill doesn't accept the flowers. Jill, accept is acepta. So we're going to do no acepta las flores. Like that. Brenda doesn't play the guitar. Brenda, not toca la guitarra, but what? No toca. Brenda no toca la guitarra. Like that. Troy isn't in the house. Troy, he is not, it's going to be no está. Accent mark on the A. En la, how do you say house? Casa. Troy no está en la casa. Sometimes you're going to hear Spanish speakers say no está en casa and leave out the la there. That sort of more means like isn't home. No está en casa, isn't home. Brenda doesn't throw the flowers. Brenda no tira las flores. Kevin doesn't give the flowers to her. Kevin, okay, does not give. You've got le da. I want no in front of all of that. No le da las flores. Kevin isn't in this story. Kevin no está en este cuento. He's not in this account of what happened. Kevin no está en este cuento. Cuento is related to the word account through Latin. All right, the quiz. Let's see how you did. ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today? Today is, in my world right now, it's Monday. So we'll do, I had to think for a minute. Lunes. Now, it's not capitalized. Lowercase l, lunes. Maybe you can remember lunes because luna, the moon in Spanish, is related to what in English? Lunar, the lunar calendar, the lunar cycle, luna. Okay, Monday is named after the moon. So Monday, moon day, is lunes in Spanish or Latin, you might say. ¿Qué fecha es hoy? What date is today? What is today's date? Okay, so this hoy is today. Dia means day. Fecha means date. We'll be doing this every day, so don't worry about that right now. But ¿qué fecha es hoy? What date is today? SL. What date is today? Oh, SL 30 de diciembre. Okay, diciembre. It also is not capitalized. And please make sure you have I before E in diciembre, December. If you had EI, that would be pronounced a different way. All of the vowels are pronounced in Spanish. This would be diciembre, which is not a word. Can't do that. So diciembre, por favor. All right, the quiz. Pause the video for a second and match these up. Match up the Spanish with the English, then unpause the video and we will grade it. Go. Okay, we're back. Let's grade your quiz. Número uno, toca la guitarra. Número uno, I hope you picked letra D. Plays the guitar. Letra D. Número dos, va a la casa. Número dos, I hope you picked letra A. Número tres, le da una flor. I hope you picked letra C. Gives her a flower. Número cuatro, está contento. Está contento or está contenta. I hope you picked letra B. Is happy. If you got them all correct easily, that's because you're brilliant and or I'm an awesome teacher. Either way, big smiley face if you got them all right. With sunbeams coming out of it. Here's your bonus material. This is optional extra practice, but I really encourage you to do it if you have time today. Finish the story of Troy below in Spanish without looking back at the activities we did for this lesson. You may either say it out loud or write it down or both. Try to do it on your own before checking it with the translation on the previous pages or anything else we did on previous pages. It doesn't have to be exact or perfectly correct. Just focus on communicating the message. I started it for you here. I want to challenge you further. If you possibly can, do this without looking at that quiz either. Now, if you're going to say it out loud and write it down, then obviously say it out loud first so you don't have it written down. Or I guess you could write it down and then hide that and then try to say it. Do it off the top of your head. If you mess up, who cares? You're just trying to communicate a message and there's nobody here but you and me behind the video, cheering you on. Muy bien! You finished the first day lesson of Spanish 1A. You're on your way to becoming fluent in Spanish. If you need to get the workbook, the link is in the description box below. And until next time, adios, clase. First day lesson. I'm spitting.